Hey everyone and welcome to the channel. In this video I'll be replacing the power steering pump in this 1991 VP Commodore. Now yes, I know you can get them rebuilt, but since I have a spare one that works, I'll just be swapping it out instead. This guide can also apply from the VN to the VR Commodores, and pretty much anything else that has a power steering pump. So let's get into it. First thing we need to do is open the bonnet. And here is our power steering pump. Now the power steering pump does actually work. The issue is it's leaking really bad. It used to be a small leak and I could fill it up every now and then without many issues, but lately it's gotten really bad and it's leaking all over the oil filter. And you can see where the pulley's been flicking all of the old power steering fluid. So let's replace it. The first step we need to do is loosen these 4 bolts here. We need to make sure our belt's still on when we do it, otherwise the pulley will turn when we're trying to undo them. But don't take them out all the way just yet. These are just 10mm bolts. Wow, that's really tight. There we go. These have probably never been undone before, so we can loosen them just enough. Now we can remove our serpentine belt. You'll need an 18mm and you put it on our tensioner here. You pull it towards yourself to loosen it up. And we'll just pull that out of the way. Now we can remove this pulley. Cool. Look at all the power steering fluid that's on the inside of that pulley. That is terrible. And yeah, it's all over this as well. So I'll just give this a quick wipe so it's not getting put back on dirty. That's better. Now it's worth mentioning your reservoir may be full. If yours isn't, make sure you drain it out. You can just undo the hose here and you will have to spin the pump. But as you're about to see, I'm completely out of power steering fluid. As you can see, it's pretty much everywhere but inside the reservoir. Anyway, so now we need to remove this line here. Do that by loosening the hose clamp. Alright, there was more in there than I thought. Let's not make a massive mess. So I'll take the cap off, that should help the vacuum. Yep, there we go. Since I had a slow leak and I kept refilling it, this is actually pretty fresh. I've just stuck the hose into the bottle in case it keeps leaking. Now we can do our high pressure one at the back. What's the bet? Taking that off is also going to make a massive mess. Well, I've got a rag ready, so... Okay, now our lines have been loosened up, we can go to the next step. And that's undoing the 3 bolts that hold the reservoir on. There's one at the front, and there's these 2 back here. But you only actually need to undo the back 2. This front one here is bolted to the pump itself, so it doesn't matter. They also happen to be an 8mm. And now we can undo our 2 main bolts that hold the pump on. There's one here and one down here. These happen to be a 17mm. We'll loosen the one down here. And there we go. There's our old pump. Of course, I'll give everything a wipe up because it's all gross. And here's our new nice and shiny one. I mean, it's not brand new, but it doesn't look like it's leaking everywhere. So let's put it in. Also, these 2 bolts are different lengths. The short one goes on the top and the long one in the bottom. Tighten these up because we don't want our pump falling off. Now we can reconnect our lines. Right, that's nice and tight. Now our low pressure. Now that's nice and tight. And of course we can't forget our 2 bolts back here. And now we can put our pulley back on. Now don't worry if you can't tighten these up all the way like this, we'll do that when the belt's back on. And if you've forgotten how the belt goes on, don't worry, I'll show you anyway. And here's a better look for you. So over the alternator, under our tensioner, around the power steering pump, under our crank, back and around our water pump, under the air conditioning compressor, and back over the alternator. And now that the belt's back on, we can't forget to tighten up our bolts. Nice and tight. So now let's start filling it up. Now for these, it's important you use Dexron 3 ATF, just like this. And I'll put a rag around it because I usually make a big mess every time I do this. I don't know if the camera can hear it, but there's air bubbles coming up. Okay, so now at this point I can't put any more in there. So now it's time to start the car. And once the car's running, I'll keep turning the wheels to help get the air out. Now we need to leave the cap off so we can keep filling it up, because I guarantee you that level is going to go down. Now you can actually jack up the car and get the front wheels off the ground to make it easier to turn, but right now everything's muddy, so there shouldn't be a whole lot of resistance anyway when I'm turning the wheels. That and jacking a car up in the mud isn't very safe. It's already bad enough jacking the car up on normal dirt. I'm trying to get a shot where we can see the wheels and the power steering pump. And just having a look back here, I can't see any leaks. So after a little bit more of turning the wheels, I've let the car cool down. So this is our level after letting it sit for a little bit. And I can't see any bubbles in there. So let's test it with our cap. I don't think the camera can see it too well, but we're just a little bit above the full mark. And that's close enough. And we still don't have any leaks. That and our steering feels fine now. So with all of that being said and done, I hope you enjoyed my video and learned something new. I know I'll enjoy my new power steering pump. Please consider liking and subscribing.